Hey guys, it's Roshan here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I sketch one of my favorite subjects when I have really not got much else to do. It's a subject that I always have to hand, and it is tubes of paint. So everybody has tubes of watercolour at home if you're a watercolour painter at all. And there's something about them, I just really like their shapes, and they offer all kinds of challenges of shadow and line and accuracy and all that kind of thing. So in terms of the materials I used today, well, I had one page left to fill in my latest sketchbook. I'll be doing the flick through very, very soon. And I just did this little drawing of the paint tubes because I just like drawing them. And the colours I chose were in honour of my mum, because I went into her art studio and pinched all the colours from her little stash, and they're all in shades of blue and violet and those nice colours. The pen I'm using today is by Sailor. It's a 55-degree Fude pen, and the ink I'm using is De Atramentis Document Brown, waterproof, fade proof, and it doesn't run, and I love it. It's great. It's one of my go-to colours. The paper is A6 100% cotton, 250 gram. My favourite paper at the moment by Connemara. It's my go-to size, and it's my go-to paper quality at the moment. I really I'm hooked on it these days. What else can I tell you? So the paint I used obviously is the paints that are in the tubes themselves. So the Schminke Horadam Aquarelle, that's my mum's favourite brand. And the brush, I forgot to mention the brush. The brush is by Rosemary & Co. And it's an R13, and it's a fantastic go-to brush for all kinds of applications. This is a travel brush, and it's a synthetic natural mix. And that's from Rosemary & Co. And if you use the code Roisin 2024, then you get points. I think you have to set up an account. You get points and I get points, and it's all good. ROISIN 2024. So anyway, that's my brush, and you've seen my subject and you've seen the sketch. So let's get stuck in. And by the way, I'm going to use today's sketch as a way to show you my very handy I think it's pretty foolproof drawing technique, where you basically draw each point according to the distance from the last one you've just drawn. And my drawing is by no means perfect. In fact, it's a very long way from perfect. I was quite surprised how far from perfect it turned out, but it doesn't matter because I didn't do any underdrawing or anything like that. So it was very fun to do, quite stimulating and refreshing just to jump in and draw. I think it's a good technique, the one I use for teaching accurate drawing, and I suppose you pick up a little bit about painting as well. I'll try to say something about that as well. Okay, so there you go. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll talk to you soon. Here is the bunch of tubes that I have pilfered from my mum's art studio. I'll put them back, Mum. I will. So I've arranged them in a kind of a semi-random way. I like them to overlap each other, and you can see I've arranged them prettily so they're all pointing towards the centre. A lot of times when I start a drawing, I swivel the nib of the pen around to the reverse of the nib so that I get a very, very thin, fine line. I don't know why I do it exactly. It's probably because at the beginning of a sketch, I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to start off in the wrong place. Now, you'll see that I haven't drawn one tube to completion and then another one to completion and then another one and so on. No, what I'm doing is I'm looking for the point of intersection where one tube lies behind another, if you can see what I'm doing there. Drawing on the labels. Look at that, 3 tubes all at once. I'm drawing on the labels and the lids, and I'm trying to get the roundy feeling of the cylindrical shapes of the tubes. So I'm making those curves for the labels as well. I'm using the thin side of the nib, by the way, to do the little lines on the lids, the bits that give you a grip. And the thing about a Fude pen is that it has lots of different line widths according to where you hold it. So if you hold it on the reverse of the nib, you'll get a super fine line. Hold it at a very low angle and you'll get a wide line. And then if you hold it upright, you'll get a medium line. Now, the one thing I did really wrong looking back over this drawing is I forgot to curve the lines of text as well. So that's kind of a rookie mistake there. Now, if you still like my video despite my rookie errors, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can hit that subscribe button right now. I've put the main bit of text where it says Horadam Aquarelle. I've written that out, but then all the rest of it I've just done a little scribble, you know, just to kind of approximate a bit of text. And every single time I wrote those lines of text, I forgot to give the lines a curve as well. Okay, I've done my drawing and now it's time to get on to a bit of painting. And I'm using Payne's Grey to do the shadows and to do the silver bits of the sticky out bit of watercolour tube underneath the labels, because that is an aluminium or something. I presume it's aluminium. So this Payne's Grey bluish colour, it really is very effective at trying to get any silver colour or kind of metallic. But I will have to put it on in different layers and I'll have to wait for the Payne's Grey to dry in between each layer. And it is going to take a while to dry because the room is a bit cold. And you can see in this one I've just done there that the highlight is cordoned off by a very thin outline of Fude pen, which is a great way to do your highlights because it kind of reminds you not to let any paint touch when you approach. So you can see I've built up my drawing according to where each of those lines intersects with another. And in that way, I never go too far wrong. Now, it's not hugely right either, but it's the way I like to draw, and it's the technique I use for everything, from people to buildings to just everything, you name it. That's how I draw it. Now I'm putting on the paint colours on the actual strips around each tube. I chose 2 super granulation ones, and sadly on that one I've just done there, I forgot to leave a strip for the colour before I did the lettering. So I had to paint on top of the lettering because I figured that was more important to include that. And there we go. It's still a bit wet, but it's all finished. Well, it wasn't quite finished. I added the properties and the names of each of the colours. You can see them there. And I did a kind of a little swatch chart at the end. So thanks so much for watching. And if that wasn't entirely clear, don't worry, there'll be plenty more. And I definitely suggest you throw a few watercolour tubes onto your studio desk and just practice that technique. Try it out, see what you think. And please comment below if you're a bit confused by what I said. And I'll do my best to make it clearer. So thanks a million for watching, and I'll see you soon.